Now, recently, the Odisha government has given the direction to shut down the forest right cells which were created by the central government under the Dharti Aba Janjatiya Gram Utkarsh Abhiyan scheme. So, in this respect, this has prompted the central government to scrutinize the same. Now, when it comes to these forest right cells, why they were created? So that we can expedite the process of the individual as well as community rights claimed by the forest dweller community. Now, when it comes to Odisha, although it is one of the best performer when it comes to the Forest Rights Act, so Odisha has issued the second highest number of forest right titles after Chhattisgarh. But the problem with Odisha is it has the sixth highest pendency rates when it comes to FRA claims. That is the reason it became important to set up these forest right cells. When it comes to these forest right cells, they were basically working under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. When you talk about this Dharti Aba Janjatiya Gram Utkarsh Abhiyan, it is basically a central scheme which was launched way back in 2024, and it was basically to provide the states with the additional human resources in form of the forest right cells so that we can expedite the processing of forest right claims under the FRA Act. This particular topic you can associate with the polity section of your prelim syllabus. Now, let's note down certain prelim pointers with respect to Forest Right Act of 2006. Now, the full name of this act is the Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Recognition of Forest Rights Act, which was basically enacted in 2006. Now, what is the objective? Basically, to undo the historical injustice that the tribal community has faced when it comes to livelihood and food security. So, we are trying to ensure their livelihood and food security because of the developmental projects, time and again they were evicted from their forest lands that were there. Okay, so we are trying to address the issue of development induced displacement, which is a chronic problem which the tribals in India face. Who all are eligible to get the benefits of this particular act? So, the rights FRA claims could be made by a member or a community that has been in that particular area for at least 3 generations, that is 75 years, before the 13th day of December 2005. Because after that, in 2006, the FRA Act came into force. They have been living in that forest for this much time. Nodal ministry is basically your Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and 4 kinds of rights are provided under the FRA Act. First is the title rights. So, you need to make note of this thing that here we are not giving any new land. So, no new land would be granted. This title rights basically deal with the right to ownership to a land which is already cultivated by the tribals or the forest dwellers, and this is subject to a limit that is maximum of 4 hectares. Then use rights are also provided so that they can extract the minor forest produce, okay, and grazing rights are also provided. Then relief and developmental rights in case they are a victim of development induced displacement. Okay, so they are provided protection against eviction and rights to rehabilitation and basic amenities. Then forest management rights are also provided. Under this, it talks about the right to protect, regenerate or conserve or manage the community forest which the tribal community has been doing for generations. Okay, so this would help us in effective conservation of the forest ecosystem. Now, who are the authorities which are associated with granting these different kinds of rights that we discussed right now? So, first authority is your Gram Sabha. This would be the authority which would be initiating the process of FRA claims. Then you have the sub-divisional level community which would be inquiring that particular claim which is passed by the Gram Sabha, and ultimately it would be the district level committee which would be approving that FRA claim. However, when it comes to this FRA Act, the Zaza community has pointed out that there are high rejections of the FRA claims, okay, and this is somewhere suggested as one of the causes of rising Naxalism in India. That's all that we need to know with respect to this particular topic. Let's move on to the next one.